Hey guys, apologies for the delays, a lot going on lately. You guys wanted one long video for covering cultures and ideologies of all the nations, and because my computer died in the middle of file transfer, I'm recording this for the second time, so here it is. Alright, so before we begin, a little disclaimer. I sent messages to everyone that I could. Some answered, some didn't. Some gave far more detailed answers than others, and so on. Now, let's begin. Since they have featured the least in the main series, and since they gave the most detailed response, we'll begin with the Novanians. More commonly and simply known as the Northmen, they inhabit the savannas of the northern continent. The Kingdom of Brace is larger than any other, and the Northmen's political system reflects this, and helps them manage such a vast territory. Each northern village is ruled by a northern lord, known as a Jarl. The Northmen put a great deal of emphasis on the deeds and accomplishments of their people. Their way is the way of the warrior. Each Jarl earned his title and lordship through his valor in battle. The Jarls are the bannermen of the king in the north, who is selected from amongst them. Succession to the throne is decided by tournament. Each of the Jarls fight in a one-on-one bracket until only one remains. Then he or she is crowned the king of the north, and their village becomes the capital. It should be noted, of course, that the Northmen are not simply vicious killers. They have a deep respect for one another and heed each other's counsel. It is said that half of the tournaments are won by cleverness instead of brute strength alone. In an event that a Jarl is killed, the king will appoint a new one from his bannermen. In the event that the king is killed, one of his men from the capital will become the regent, while a crowning tournament is organized. Tournaments are held every 40 years regardless. According to, quote, the Trident King, there has only been one king who won back-to-back tournaments, Sir Victor the Wise, who was 58 when he won his second crowning tourney. As far as religion, the Northerners serve the old gods of Norse mythology, striving to achieve death in glorious combat to enter Valhalla. Their culture and political system makes the Northmen some of the greatest warriors in the world. The Trident King certainly is in the top 5. Perhaps I'll make a PvP ranking sometime in the future. Additionally, all the Northmen work together on strategy. After all, a society that separates its scholars from its warriors will have its thinking done by cowards and its fighting by fools. From the far north, we'll head all the way down south to the island of Myreen. Now, as you may know, the island is divided into two major groups, the Orange and the Black. These sides are very much at odds, and as such, have very differing values and ideologies. We'll begin with the Oranges. We know their famous words, ashes to ashes, we rise again, a message to their enemies that if they should burn, their enemies will burn with them. The indomitable spirit of the true Myrenese cannot be crushed. The Oranges are primarily hunter-gatherers, ruled by their king Crow of House Creepersbane. Succession to the throne of Myreen is decided by heir, named by the king. As far as religion, the king told me that the Myrenese are secretive about their ways and that it is only for the Myrenese to know, enigmatic as always. On the other side of the wall, the people of the Black Keep are very different. Their words, black as the eternal, signify the pride of their people. They are firm believers in manifest destiny and are always trying to expand their territory into new lands. To them, undeveloped land is unclaimed land. They are extremely militaristic, with the decorations of their castle reflecting their core values of strength and power. The Knights of the Black are a sworn brotherhood who carry out the will and defend the interests of House High Castle. There are some on the south side that practice Nochism, a peaceful Buddhist-like religion brought to Myreen from Nekoshima in the Shogun's many dealings with the Black Keep. And while Nochism has been allowed, the Lord of the Black Keep, Highfish, doesn't approve of their peaceful rhetoric, as it is very much at odds with his own ideology of conquest. After all, if he had his way, he would not stop until House High Castle ruled all the Southlands. Moving on to everyone's favorite eco-terrorists. The Beckians of the Beckland jungle were formed after they were exiled from the civilized world. The Beckians have been compared to radical Notchists. Their leader left the Emirate after seeing the destruction the East Desert Company wrought on a hill where he planned to live. They are extremely anti-industry, they are against auto farms, terraforming, and most other exploits that have made the First World obscenely rich. They oppose government, the barter system, and megabuilds. Their way is the old way. A simple house, a peaceful life, as it was back in 2012. However, ironically, they have historically shown themselves to be no stranger to using violence to attain their goals. For now, the Beckians have gone underground, living in the tunnels and caverns to keep their movements secret. When I asked about their culture, all I initially received was this. Make of that as you will. Next up, we have perhaps the most mysterious of the developed nations, the shogunate. While flooded, the shogun manages most foreign affairs. The people of Nekoshima are ruled by their god emperor, Blue Eyes, a player nobody else has ever seen. I'm told shogunate culture is heavily influenced by three figures, Confucius, Buddha, and Dao Zai. Something that hasn't been addressed in the main series is the lack of buildings on Nekoshima. This is because the axolotls strictly abide by the laws of feng shui. The people of the shogunate have been spending months carefully designing their future builds to follow these spiritual principles. I was also told that the Black Keep has a very bad feng shui, blocking dragons from entering rivers and lakes, and is believed to play a major factor in their bad luck. From a Confucius perspective, Snaily died because he lost his mandate from heaven by being an instigator and putting his people at risk of war. There are others who believe, under the Kami no Michi spiritual belief, that Snaily lives on as a kami of the Black Keep and has become the very castle itself. Overall, the people of the shogunate have a deep spiritual connection and respect for the spiritual plane, as well as the spirits that inhabit our world. They put great effort in chi cultivation and living harmoniously with the natural world. Their beliefs are collectively known as Notchism. The followers of Notchism construct statues of their god, the Notch, where they can worship, leave offerings, and say prayers. It's interesting to consider them next to the Beckians, two cultures embracing harmony with nature. One strives to achieve it through following a complex rule system, and the other shuns all rules entirely. Just food for thought. Peace through order, order through force. These are the words of the Emirate. There is no simpler summation of their ideology. They see themselves as the greatest nation on earth, a utopia for those willing to abide by their strict rules. If there's one thing they love more than order, it's vanity. The people of the Emirate place a high emphasis on aesthetic, keeping strictly to their Middle Eastern theme. Every proposed building must first have its design reviewed and approved by the Emir Zippers. Luckily, the Emirate itself is not aggressive toward other nations. They mostly see themselves as keepers of the world's peace. Forged in the nether, the Emir is the only person in the world with netherite armor, and the self-proclaimed man who cannot be killed. He wields the netherite sword Peacekeeper, and proclaims, "He who carries the sword carries the burden of justice." With the Emirate, order will always be maintained, through diplomacy if possible, but force if necessary. In the words of Ezra, those who do not bend are broken. The Emirate has no official religion, though there are some who try to live by certain Notchist values. As with Myreen, this is a direct result of partnership with Nekoshima. Of course, there is one part of the Emirate that I saved for last, so now let's address the elephant in the desert. The East Desert Company, run by Dragon, while technically part of the Emirate, differs significantly in principle and goals. The company is capitalist, very materialistic, and definitely not religious. Dragon has said repeatedly that he is against Notchism, and that peace with nature keeps you in the Stone Age. Nature was made to be tamed, and only by harnessing its power can a civilization become something more. As I've said before, the company is focused on profit and efficiency in attaining it. While an EDC partnership can be helpful, they don't do it from the goodness of their hearts. As Dragon once said, "Give a man a fish, he's fed for a day. Teach a man to fish and lose a paying customer." Always expanding their horizons, the company remains unburdened by any morals or ethics. Though their reaping of the natural world has caused some controversy in the past, most of the First World seems to be okay with it, which means the benefits must outweigh the costs. That leaves only the Free Republic. A peaceful democratic nation, the Republic sees themselves as a beacon of hope for all oppressed people in the world. They desire to spread the light of freedom wherever they can. And while you might think that the Republic is the last nation that would actually be super religious, of course, as it turns out, you'd be wrong. I've been told that a day of greatness for the Republic is coming. The citizens are staying hidden and waiting for the second coming of their prophet, Ismail al-Said, peace be unto him. One day he will return from distant lands, and the people shall know it is safe. They will arise from the shadows and build a glorious new Republic city for all the world to see. And at the end of days, the world will join hands in harmony and sing a song of peace. This is a belief that all people of the Republic hold, and while this religion doesn't have a specific name, it's generally being referred to as the prophecy. Well, I don't think it's so. Is that it? Let's see. What did we do? Okay, let's see. We did the North, we did both sides of Myreen, we did the Beckians, did the Emirate, the Shogunate, and the Republic. Am I forgetting anyone? Oh. The Outlanders never responded, and I kind of forgot about the Outlanders until just now. So let me break it down. No, okay, all right, let's see. What can we learn about the Outlanders' values based upon their actions? The only thing Subject the Outlander really did was invite some guy that he was told not to invite. That guy griefed, got killed. The Outlanders are very similar to the Beckians, I suppose you could say. They're very against the organization and civilization of the First World, but the Outlanders are at least willing to do business with, say, the East Desert Company, while the Beckians are fully against it. They're definitely very anarchist, but they are willing to do trade if it benefits them. And that, of course, is the major reason for them being exiled out into the Barrens. So anyway, there you go. A brief summary of all the world's cultures. I hope this video turned out well. It was a lot harder to write than I actually thought it would be, but I hope you enjoyed all the same. As always, let me know what you think down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Which culture is your favorite? Just give me that sweet, sweet engagement for the YouTube algorithm. Consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, till next time.